Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And believe it or not, guys, we are about halfway through the 2022 MLB season. There are teams that have played 81, 82 games. Those that haven't reached the midway point will be there within the next couple days. So I thought I would do something today that I like to call the all mostly went undrafted fantasy baseball team. This will be the mid-season version. I'll revisit this at the end of the year. So let's get into how I did this. I used a website note called, what is it called? Fantasy Pros. So expert consensus rankings. So if we scroll down, we see it takes the preseason average draft positions from ESPN, CBS, Yahoo, and three other sites, and then their average altogether is on the right. So basically, what I did was any guy over 300 would be eligible for this. Why did I pick the number 300? Well, if you are in a 12 team, 25 player draft, there are 300 players drafted. So let's just take a look at, let's say, catcher, right? So if we go to catcher, come on. There would be 20 catchers who were picked before 300 on average. So 20 catchers would not be eligible for this list. So let's get into it. I'm going to do a player for each position. So one catcher, one first base, one second base, shortstop, third, three outfielders, five starting pitchers, and one relief pitcher. For this, I know some players are eligible at multiple positions. I tried to go with the position they've played most this season in real life. So let's get into it, starting with the catcher. We got Jonah Heim of the Texas Rangers. And let me mention, all stats will be through July 4th's games. Batting .258, which is definitely good for a catcher, but his 12 home runs in 194 at-bats. He has been an excellent pickup for fantasy owners. Of course, catcher's a weak offensive position, so Heim has provided excellent value. Honorable mention is William Contreras. At first base, we have Luis Arraez. Arraez is not your typical first baseman that he doesn't provide much power. He only has 4 homers on the season, but he's batting a league-leading .348 on the year. Never strikes out. I know that's not a fantasy stat in most leagues. Also, 46 runs scored. Honorable mentions include Rowdy Tellez and Josh Naylor. Second base, Andres Jimenez of the Cleveland Guardians. This season, he is batting an even .300 on the year, connecting on 9 homers, driving in 38 runs, also stealing 6 bases. Honorable mention, Isaac Paredes. Shortstop, we have Jeremy Pena, Rookie of the Year candidate, along with Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners. Rodriguez was within the first 300, so he's not eligible for this. But in his rookie year, replacing Carlos Correa at shortstop, Pena's banked .278, 11 homers, 35 runs scored, 6 stolen bases. Honorable mentions include Kyle Farmer and Nico Horner. Third base, I went with Brandon Drury of the Cincinnati Reds. He has 17 homers on the year, amongst the league leaders. Also among the league leaders with his 49 runs scored, 45 RBIs. He's hitting .270 on the year. I thought long and hard about John Birdie of the Marlins, stolen base machine of late, but Drury pretty much outpaces him in every other category. Also Patrick Wisdom, honorable mention. 3 outfielders, starting with Taylor Ward of the Angels. Was on the IL. His numbers have dipped a little bit, but still amazing performance on the year. .308 batting average, 12 home runs, 42 runs scored in just 57 games. A guy who had a negative WAR heading into the year at 2.7 thus far, according to Baseball Reference. Next, we have Jock Peterson of the San Francisco Giants. Peterson has 17 homers on the year in his first year with San Francisco, also driving in 40 runs, .278 average. Just don't really play him against lefty starters. And then we got Christopher Morel, rookie with the Chicago Cubs. Kind of was after the first two outfielders, it was a little bit harder to find a third. I went with Morel. He's banged 272 with 8 homers, 31 runs scored, and 7 stolen bases in just 44 games played. Some honorable mentions include Jurickson Profar, Juan Yepes, and Harold Ramirez. 5 starting pitchers. Let's start with Nestor Cortez of the New York Yankees. What a season he's having. In his 15 starts, 7.3, 2.44 ERA, striking out 9.6 batters per 9, and has a 0.95 whip on the year. Martin Perez, 31 years old, the veteran, pretty much every season would have well over a 4 ERA in his career other than 2013. This year, 16 starts, 7-2, 2.34 ERA, and a 1.17 whip. Next, we have Miles Mikolas of the St. Louis Cardinals. 5-6 record, not great, but everything else has been awesome. 16 starts, 2.61 ERA, and a 0.99 whip. Here we got Tyler Anderson of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Was probably be the 6th or 7th starter you'd think of with the Dodgers heading into the season. Instead, he's been one of their best. He's 9-1 in 15 games, 13 starts with a 3.09 ERA, 73 strikeouts in 84 and a third innings, and a 1.06 whip. And the 5th starter is Kyle Wright of the Atlanta Braves. Wright had really struggled in his professional career from 2018 to 21 games, 14 starts, 6.56 ERA. This year in 16 starts, 9-4, 2.91 ERA, 98 strikeouts in 96 innings, and a 1.14 whip. Honorable mentions include Paul Blackburn and Spencer Strider. Strider started the year in the bullpen. And my relief pitcher is Clay Holmes of the New York Yankees. What a superb season he is having. In his 37 innings pitched, has only allowed 2 earned runs, 15 saves. Aroldis Chapman's missed a lot of the year. Holmes has filled in flawlessly as the team's closer. He's also 4-0, striking out 38 hitters in his 37 innings and a microscopic 0.73 whip on the season. So there you have it. That is my mid-season, mostly went undrafted fantasy baseball team. Again, keywords in there, mostly went undrafted. So I understand some of these guys may have been drafted in your league. Some leagues are bigger, and sometimes people take reaches that end up paying off. But let me know in the comments who have been some of your best waiver wire finds in the free agent market this year. Again, we will revisit this at the end of the season. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.